One more time.
What did you fuck up now?
One more time. Hey, we're back, baby.
Fucking Sager.
We're back in true colors here. The intro 3 times now.
All right, let's fucking go.
All right, things are sloppy today. It's my fault. Fucking around with a bunch of not new equipment, just fucking around, trying to make things easier and simpler, and
I mean, kind of new equipment.
Doing stuff and things. Yeah, we're working on a laptop setup here so we can make this a little bit more mobile, you know. So I look like I'm in the middle of working with a bunch of shit because I fucking am. We're doing this on the fly. That is on the fly. That's on the fly. This is on my fly. And we're going. It's fucking go time today. So, seems to be running swimmingly.
I think Sage did a couple bumps before getting home, but it's fine.
It feels that way.
He's all jacked up on Mountain Dew today.
Fuck. We had a long needed rest from things, and we've been kind of slacking a little bit, as I'm sure everybody's noticed by now. I think by this time, maybe 1 or 2 episodes will have come out, and we've missed 1 or 2 drops, but it's kind of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how it is necessary sometimes to disconnect a little bit from obligations and just kind of remove yourself from everything that you've been pushing so hard for. Sometimes you have to take a step back, take a breath, kind of reintroduce yourself to it. And I've been having a hard time doing that because I was happy about not having to do anything. So the laziness started kicking in. But now that we're here and now that we have more progress, I'm super lit to be back. So
now we're back.
Yeah, we had to take a long and interesting weekend. Got a little vacation, little staycation, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
But I felt like it was really, truly necessary to step back from everything and kind of recenter myself,
Yeah, just have that chance to relax, enjoy the fruits of your labor, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those where, yeah, it's nice to have that time to just sit back, relax, and be able to be like, wow, I'm doing this because all the work that I've been doing. I'm able to do this because of all the work that I've been doing.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you were getting at is, just being able to take that chance to step back, take that little, vacation or staycation or, whatever you want to do, and step away from reality, so to say, for just a little bit and just relax and clear your mind a little bit so that you can come back in running hard.
Yeah, yep. That's basically it, man. And one of the other things that I had to kind of check myself a little bit because in the beginning when I first started getting into vacation mode, getting ready for it last week, I was stressing out a little bit because things here weren't where I wanted them to be, and nothing was where I wanted it to be before I go on a fucking vacation,
Never is.
Yeah. And I had to check myself. It didn't fucking happen until Sunday, I don't think, man. But I was like, you know what? The shit is not going to happen overnight. We've made a shit ton of progress in less than a year, and it's going to be okay for the steam to slow down for just a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I mean, I feel like most listeners out there are going to realize that people got lives.
Right.
And I mean, nice thing is once this does start to take off, people that are listening to the episodes and trying to catch up, they're never going to notice because they're going to, if somebody joins in today and starts listening to all your previous episodes, they got 70 episodes to listen to.
That's true, huh?
They got 70 hours worth of, content to catch up on.
We've made enough of a dent to where it can kind of.
So.
It was just, and I think this response to yourself kind of stands for everybody's life. I think everybody's going to have their own position where it might be beneficial to step back every once in a while and just breathe, recenter, rethink, and get back to it. But the important part of that I've come to realize is the getting back to it part. Is not getting comfortable not doing it, because that almost happened,
Yeah.
And
and that kind of goes back to what we talked about. I don't think last time, but the time before, of how it's hard to restart after losing your momentum, and that kind of just it goes into that, and I would like to say it would get easier, the more used to doing this you are, because then it becomes less of a, well, this is my own type of thing and I can do it when I want, type of mindset that most people have when they start their own venture.
Yeah.
And it comes more into the thought of, okay, this is my job. And especially when it becomes your full-time thing, it will be more of a, okay, this is my job. I took my vacation. I took my 4 days off, my week off, whatever it is. And now it's time to get back into work. I got to make the money so that I can pay the bills. And so I do feel like eventually it will get to that point where you don't feel like it's hard to get back into doing the things.
I understand what you're saying, and I can speak from one past experience that I had when I was a lot younger. I think it was like 12 years ago now, when I tried to start my own shop. I don't know how much you remember that.
I think that was like right before I met you.
Yeah, I tried to start my own automotive shop, and like it was never, honest to God, it was like never a job, and I thought we were just living this fucking fantasy life where we could just do whatever the fuck we wanted, and we were having a great time, and it wasn't work because it was our passion, and it was the business model there wasn't one.
Yeah.
And I'm still paying debts for that to this day. So having had that one experience and looking back and saying that can't happen, that cannot happen again, ever. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is like a job where like it's so much of a job that I hate it, because that's not the case at all. It's just hard to do two jobs at once.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the struggle, and it's hard for me to want to continue on because of that, because I'm so like, I feel like I've given myself a timeline with my other job already, which is not healthy. Because I hate doing both of these at once, and I want it to end, and I felt like I was pushed myself into the fucking ground for a minute, and I have to just chill.
Yeah, you have to find that nice balance when you're trying to get this to take off, until you're at that point where you're like, okay, I'm making enough to maybe possibly be able to make the leap and quit my job.
Yeah.
When you start thinking you can possibly do it, that's when you need to take the leap. Not wait until you know for sure, because with having two, you're never going to know for sure.
And that's another thing too, is I know by that time things will be much more dedicated and financially stable as far as this thing goes. But I'll be able to say, if I have more time, then I can do this, and this.
Yeah.
But until then, I know now, like I said, from that shop experience, that you have to self-discipline is going to be like the biggest key.
Yeah, that's one of the main points for small businesses failing, is just the lack of self-discipline.
And I can see, I know exactly why, because like I said, when we had that shop, we were just living the fucking dream.
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody's mindset when they start a company. They're like, oh, I'm my own boss. I can work when I want and not work when I want.
Doesn't work that way.
And no, not at all.
Does not work that way. And I refuse to let this thing sail straight into the ground. It's, if you start with the correct mindset, then there's no reason that whatever it is that you're doing shouldn't succeed.
Yeah.
As long as you start with that mindset and continue on with that mindset. And, it's hard, but that, again, you talk about that balance, and that balance for yourself is going to be your healthy point, and you have to have it. And I'm definitely guilty of letting it go many times.
Yeah. And especially stuff like this where it's content creating.
Yeah.
Because a lot of your content creators, people ask them all the time, when they got, when they realized that they could do it full time and actually make a living off of it. And a lot of them will say that they didn't have any other option at that point.
Right.
Like they didn't have a job and they were trying to, they had already kind of started the thing, but they weren't putting a whole lot of effort into it. And they were like, you know what? I don't have a job, so let's just throw all of my effort into this and throw the Hail Mary and see if it gets caught.
And hope for the best.
And that's how most of your big like YouTubers and stuff like that come about.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously this is a little different than that, but I mean it's really not at the same time.
Yeah, different circumstances, but no circumstances are going to be perfect.
No, never. But that's where I was getting at earlier when I said, because you'll never be able to put enough effort into this with working a normal job, and to get it to where you feel like you're making enough money 100% to be able to pay all your bills.
Yeah.
But once you get to that point where you feel like you're getting close, that's when I would say is that time to make that leap and be able to step outside of that and make that run.
And it's such a scary process too, because when I start seeing, as well as any business owner or as well as anybody that's trying to make this leap or that connection, is when you start seeing the light is when you're like, that's when you want to go full throttle,
Yeah.
And in reality, you have to assess every step of the way.
100%.
So it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna relight this fire, and we're gonna take her easy for a little bit and just try and get some things dialed in. Like today, I said, I mean, you could say we kind of took a fucking leap today because I said, fuck it, we're gonna get this thing figured out. The way things are going, so, but that's okay. Is there anything else that's struck you over the last week or two? That's what I want to talk about. Just being able to balance yourself correctly, and not letting that overwhelm you.
Yeah.
Because it was fucking heavy for a while.
I mean, I haven't really had a whole lot in my personal life because, since I've changed kind of the route that I want to go with my business, I have kind of throttled back just a little bit. Just because now I'm trying to figure out how I want to actually remarket that, to still get it to do what I'm trying to do. Like, I don't want it to focus too much on the woodworking side. I want it to be focused more on the welding side. So I'm trying to figure out how to remodel that. And so I've definitely taken a step back there. But then, I mean, I told you Monday I walked into work to a complete curveball.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to figure all of that out. And I mean, that in itself, it's kind of like what we're talking about. It's a balancing act because I now literally do everything at my job. Because our guy that I had replace me on the toter so that I could go back to working on the trailers and not having to move the trailers around the yard is stepping into a delivery driver position where he's going to deliver the trailers to site. So he's not going to be in the yard constantly anymore, which means that's going to fall back on me. But
Oof.
They also just put me into that trainer position. So not only do I have to train people, but I also have to move the trailers around the yard. And while I'm training people, obviously I'm still working on trailers. So I've now just took on a lot more responsibility, and we're trying to figure out that juggling act.
You know what? When it comes to work and stuff like that, and this is something that everybody's going to be able to relate to. But one of the biggest stressors that somebody can carry at work is the amount of liability and responsibility that comes with whatever it is that your job is.
100%.
Oh my God! And it just, it doesn't matter. I don't think everybody's job is going to have a certain amount of liability, and it's unfair, really, how much responsibility one person has to carry. And yeah, sure, a raise helps, but fucking what does it help? You know?
Yeah.
Now one slight slip up anywhere, again, in anybody's profession, and it's a game changer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And in something like that, you might be focused on trying to explain something to someone while you were trying to do something else that you're already a robot at, and one small mistake could be detrimental to everything that you've worked for.
Yep, but and I mean we've talked about it a couple of times. Both places that we work for are very understanding and very big on wanting to help their people succeed.
Yeah.
And the boss even looked at me and he's like, I know it's going to be clunky because this is a new position that we've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
And I have you doing extra stuff that is going to pull you away. He's like, so I know it's going to be clunky and it's going to be hard to figure out for probably the first couple of weeks or a couple of months. He's like, but just bear with me. I am also trying to make other changes so that everything's not on you. So it's just right now we're in that weird spot where everything kind of has to be on me, unfortunately, because there's nobody else that can do it.
Well, that's kind of nice.
So
that sucks, but it's kind of nice. Man, it's just like I said, it's so mind blowing, and that it has to be. And really, there's a much bigger picture to be painted about why it has to be that way.
yes, 100%.
That I'm not gonna even try to delve into because I'm not educated and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? It's like pay scale and employees and
Yeah.
how much whatever, blah blah blah, and then basically what it comes down to is you have to put more risk on all your employees because you can't afford to have the extra bodies there to itemize every single thing.
Oh, that's not the worry of this company. But
no,
that's not our worry.
Oh.
The pay is not the issue.
Well, no, I don't mean the pay scale. I mean like everybody's trying to save money by having less bodies.
No, we're actually trying to hire like 4 more right now.
Well, I'll just fuck off then. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, I mean it kind of does go into that effect of. So we're realizing that there's really only like 3 or 4 months out of the year where we truly need somebody that's their whole job is to move trailers.
Yeah.
Outside of those 3 or 4 months, we're not busy enough to where that toter is running constantly.
Okay,
like,
I see.
Like those 3 or 4, our toter gets filled up twice because we pay a fuel service to come in and fill it up because it doesn't leave the yard. It gets filled up twice a week, and there's times during our busy season where I have almost ran it out of fuel.
On accident? Well, obviously.
Well, I mean, one day I looked at the boss and I was like, I'm going to try and run this out before the fuel service shows up.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Well, because, I mean, I started the day and I only had a quarter tank at the beginning of the day.
Jesus.
He told me I better not.
You fucking don't. Oh.
But, yeah, I mean, so on like a day like today, I moved 6 trailers. You usually figure about 15 minutes per trailer for a movement. That complete round the clock. That's because that counts pulling the trailer out, parking it, grabbing the next one, and pulling it in. I can do that in about 15 minutes. I moved 6 today. On my busiest day, I did 32.
Ouch. No.
And that was one of those where I was like, I don't want to do this no more.
I don't want to. No.
Yeah, it can get pretty hectic. And
how often are you put in a position where you have to figure something out? Not necessarily urgently, but you're put in a position where we need a new solution. Let's start toying with it.
At least once a day.
Yeah. That's one of the other things I kind of wanted to talk about. And I wanted to pull it outside of the job site talk because I get to do it too, being a tow truck driver. It's a part of my shit. I'm sure you see every different repair that you do is probably a unique situation, one and of itself.
Yeah.
But But one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about with that was, and we could probably tie it back into everything else we were talking about, but I'll try not to. When you do stuff on your own, outside of work, and in your own life, whatever that may occur with your kids, with your wife, your husband, or an adventure you're going on your own. And yeah, sure, it feels in the beginning like you don't have the resources and you don't have the knowledge, and it's so easy to just dismiss an idea because of that.
100%.
You know, like the ideas that you're trying to figure out what business venture is right for you. And yeah, you kind of start some things and shove off another thing or stop this idea because of something, but the point that I'm trying to make is that you're figuring it out. And when you take an adventure of things that you have zero idea about or little to none about, and you start piecing it together on your own, like this, for example, I would really stress to anybody that's scared to do it because they're scared to fail or whatever the fuck the reason is, to try it. Because when you do figure it out,
you're gonna feel so fucking
how
good about
fucking
it.
Good does it feel,
Yeah.
dude? Like
100%.
You're like, I fucking did this. I fucking figured it out and I fucking did it. I built this. And that's one of the things that I wanted to, like I said, with this, with that, with work, wherever it is that you're doing it, just don't give up. Fail a little bit and figure it out. I promise you, the knowledge will come. And not only that, but we have these fucking things.
Well, and I mean, it's kind of like what everybody... I mean, you hear the saying all the time, especially when like you're teaching somebody how to do something or anything like that, or you're showing somebody how to do something. Especially me, because I have a tendency of having a short temper and not understanding why people don't know how to do something that I know how to do. Like, there's just times I've done it so many times with certain things that to me it's simple, it's easy. I don't understand why somebody else doesn't understand it. And so I've had people tell me over and over, remember, it was your first time at some point.
Right, and that's so important.
And so when you're trying to figure something out, remember, this is your first time. You might watch all these YouTube videos trying to learn how to do something and be like, why are they able to do it so easily and I am struggling? They've done it thousands of times,
right,
and that's why they decided to make a YouTube video. This is your first time. They never show you all them fuck ups.
And that outlook is so fucking important, dude.
100%.
Yeah. Like you just said, you don't know how many times it's been done by the person that's now recording it.
Yeah. I mean, they're not... There are few people that will keep their fuck ups in their videos, and most people, they're going to take all that out and they're only going to show you the perfect run. They're only going to show you when it went great,
when it looks perfect.
They're never going to show you, the 100 other times that they tried to make that exact same thing and it failed. And I mean, even like epoxy, for instance, when I first started trying to play with epoxies and stuff, I've had a couple of times where it didn't set right and stuff like that. And it's like, why? Like, I can't figure it out. It looks so simple. You mix it good, you pour it. It gets hard, call it good. And then I finally watched one video from one of the guys that I've watched several times that makes it look super easy. And in one of his videos, he didn't get his epoxy mixed properly, and he ruined a $10,000 table.
I feel like I've seen that.
And so it just shows you that, like, even somebody that does it thousands of times still fucks it up.
Yep.
And so, I mean, that's just one of my takeaways that I feel everybody should remember is, when you're working with something, especially when you're brand new at it, it's not always going to go perfectly. It's not always going to go easily. You're going to have those times where that shit's fucking hard and you're going to get frustrated. You're going to want to quit. You're going to say, fuck it. This isn't worth it. But you got to remember that you have to start somewhere.
Everybody starts somewhere.
And it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, even just, think back to your first day driving. Oh my God, was that a nightmare for me, trying to learn how to drive a stick?
Starting on a hill.
100%.
Yeah.
I stalled that bitch out like 7 times before I even figured out how to start rolling.
Right. You're about to tell your dad to fuck off. If it wasn't for the fact he was going to hit you in the mouth. Yeah, no, that's perfect, man. Because I and like I say, I always go back to so many people just want it to be spoon fed, and everybody wants it to be comfortable and easy. And well, I saw it on Facebook, and it was they did it so easily, like you said.
Oh yeah, that 5-minute crafts thing is fucking horrible.
And
It makes everything look super easy.
fucking bullshit. I can't even build a stick figure. But man, it's amazing how it feels, no matter how long it takes, when you accomplish what you saw on your own and you do it fucking better.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of my favorite things is to find something and then be like, okay, I could buy this. I'm going to figure out how to make it.
Right.
And I know that I'm probably going to spend twice as much money trying to figure out how to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I know how to make it.
See, and the fun part about something like that, regardless of what we're talking about, is you're going to figure out how to make it the first time. It's probably not going to be efficient or cost effective. But I tell you what,
Like your front bumper.
the second, third, fourth time, they're all going to be better in every fucking way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I know next time we go to cut your skid plate, we're using the plasma cutter.
Apparently. I don't want aluminum in my arm for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was not fun.
That was great. What are you talking about?
I don't know if I could hear anymore yet.
Is that his ass or your ass?
It might be my boot.
Dear Lord in heaven. I'm about to pass out.
Oh, smells? I don't
Yeah.
smell shit.
Good. Lucky you. Holy shit, Doodle.
Oh, God.
I don't even know what the fuck we were just talking about.
What did you feed him?
He keeps eating kids' cookies.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's not good for anybody.
Apparently he's loving it.
Oh, he's having a great fucking week. And everybody else thinks it's funny. I'm like, he's gonna vomit.
He's gonna die.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that won't wake me up in the middle of the night. Just like everybody else, guess what's gonna wake me up in the middle of the night? The dog licking his nuts or trying to vomit.
What?
Same fucking thing.
Oh,
Oh, he
God.
doesn't have nuts. I'm sorry. Licking his foot.
Hopefully certain friends of ours decide to listen to this episode. Just in case they do.
Yeah. I know it's a little shorter than normal, but for it being a test run, I was just gonna call it here. A little bit easier, just to make sure I can get everything handled correctly. Hopefully, we can get these bastards working correctly.
Yeah, hopefully it turns out, maybe.
Yeah, I mean everything seems to be pointing in the right direction thus far. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to have Justin back. It's not even Monday, which is super weird, but he was excited to come back. So we fucking threw it together on a Thursday. And
Hey, we got to keep this thing pushing. I mean, if you're not going to push yourself, somebody's got to push you.
you know what? I will fucking give you that, man, and I appreciate it. You've been on top of it. You've been fucking more than on top of it, and it's nice because I'm so thankful for the whole support system that's been around since day one. I am. But the fame and the glory part of it has kind of faded for a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are involved are still kind of like, there's still a few select people that hit me up that are like, hey, when are you free? I'm like, cool. I love that some people still want to be involved. But definitely for a majority, it's like, okay, things are smoothing out now.
Yeah, I mean, so like I told you before, I never really did this for the fame or glory or anything like that. It was one of those where when me and you were talking and it just got brought up into conversation, you're like, hey, I'm thinking about trying to start this thing. I was like, cool, let's do it. I was like, I'll even come and record with you. And you're like, well, I don't think it's the type of podcast you think it's going to be. And I was like, I don't care.
You know how many people have told that?
I was like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I think you were running it for like 2 months before I did the first episode. And then I told you, I was like, once we get going, we're gonna run it. And
Here we go.
so, yeah, we'll just keep it going. Let's keep pushing you. It'll be fine. You get mad at me sometimes. It'll be all right.
I get mad at me sometimes.
It's okay.
But yeah, just like we just got done telling people, you know, we're fucking regular people, and this was my first time too. And we're almost a year into this thing, and it's taking a lot of heartbreak and blood, sweat, and tears, all the things, a lot of fucking headache, but we're hopefully at this point, this looks as phenomenal as I think it's going to.
Hopefully. I think we got everything running how it should, so.
In theory. We still might have to do some upgrades, but it fucking irritates me to have that thought because I see all the fucking badass podcasts that are all over TikTok and shit like that. And they're all fucking amazing. Like, the video is great. Sound is great.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to pay a $10,000 film crew to come in and help you out. I mean, we can do it.
They made it look so fucking easy. And I'm like a year into this bitch. Like, why is it not working yet? But it's just me. You're looking at the crew. He supports everything that we're doing, but I am the crew at this point. So
yeah. Sage is 100% the behind the scenes of everything.
Just about. So. And I'm trying. This is not my field of expertise, so I'm piecing together every little step, and every step farther that I get lights my flame just a little bit bigger. And it's only because you motherfuckers keep bumping my numbers. So keep doing that. Like, click, and follow all the things. Please listen on Spotify and share to all your friends about this amazing mental health podcast. We got a big campaign coming in November. Don't forget about it. We'll have a lot more to tell you about that soon.
So you mean to tell me that a blue-collar worker isn't the greatest at computers?
It just doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. I mean, it sure doesn't feel promising. So, everybody knows Justin. Apparently, he's in it for the long haul. This mouse is no longer going to be functional, so I don't even know why I'm touching it. But, yep.
Because you miss your mouse. That's fine.
I love you, buddy.
Yep.
Thank you for coming in on a Thursday.
Oh, yeah. We got to keep these going.
Bye, ho.